Hello and welcome to another studio build video. I am John Millay and right behind me is my new studio. I'm going to take you in today and this is not going to be a project video as all of the others have been. This is going to be more of a, hey, I finished kind of video. So that's what we're gonna do. Let me give you a brief tour and then I'll show you some clips of some of the work I've done over the last few months and explain why this video is a little different. So we'll start with our tour. And this is gonna be a little redundant if you have seen our past update videos on Patreon. But if you haven't, here's where our tour starts. This is our exterior door we just came through. The trim is all finished out. I had to do a trim extension here, a jamb extension, because of the way the building's framed and because of the way I did the walls. We've got rubber base here, as you often see in commercial buildings, schools, that kind of thing. Just a lot cheaper and easier to do. And it kind of conforms a little bit to the unevenness of our floors. I did not finish the floor, as you can see, and I don't plan to, just save time and money. We've got our window framed in. We've got our faux beam here. That was one of the last things. It was the last project in this build, this beam and its partner beam over there. This door goes into the shop, where we've got tools and all kinds of things stored. I've got my merch set up on the rack here. This is going to be a pretty permanent spot, I think. Little vacuum area there. I might put another rack here for storage, and all of this stuff is going to be moved eventually. Here's our big studio door. I finished this off camera. I'll show you a little clip here in a little bit more about this door. But this was a big project. It is a heavy door, and I did my best to soundproof it. Custom trim here, special trim to kind of designate the specialness of the room. And then on into the studio. I did not show you my painting process. You'll see some of that in a bit. We've got our lights up. We've got some furniture and books already in here. I've been playing guitar today, which feels great. And the next thing that we have to do is just finish furnishing and setting up the studio. That, of course, will include doing our sound treatment. You can hear it's still a bit echoey in there, even with our carpet and furniture. So we'll do our sound treatment. I'm going to be building my studio desk, and I am going to do videos for both of those things, for the sound treatment and the desk. I'm going to be building custom acoustic panels, and I'm going to be building a custom desk. So now let's get into a little bit of a recap of some of the projects that I've done over the last few weeks. So our last videos were about the mini split, and after we got the mini split installed and up and running, I got the room warmed up and I got to painting. So here you see me priming the drywall. I recorded the whole painting process, priming the drywall and painting the walls and ceiling. But after that, I kind of just decided, you know what, I'm through recording video. I just want to get this project done. And so I quit taking the time to set up the camera and I just finished. Here I am covering our paint samples. We looked at a bunch of different colors to pick the colors that we finally went with. We went with a beige and a blue, as you've already seen, and you'll see me paint those on here right now. After I finish the ceiling, you can see here I've got some lights installed. We've got 3 rows of track lights. We have 2 parallel there over the main body of the room, and then we've got one that's perpendicular kind of over the desk where the studio desk will be the listening position. So that was the beige color. There you can see the other set of track lights. Now I'm taping off and getting ready to do the blue. And of course I always have helpers. They love to watch and learn. Oh, and they love to play in here. I think they were singing. So after this, I'm going to show you a clip of one of the doors. I only recorded video really for this door install. This was a pre-hung door, not too bad, although our unlevel floor kind of makes things difficult. And I could have made these openings just a little bit wider to give myself more room to play with. But it all worked out okay in the end. This door and the exterior door are both a little off, but not too bad. And now we'll move on to the actual construction of the studio door. The studio door starts with a solid pine door slab. I put 2 layers of mass-loaded vinyl. You can see me doing the first layer. The first layer there is completed, and I've got glue on to do the second layer. And now here we're going to see a clip of me installing plywood over that second layer. So after we did the 2 layers of mass-loaded vinyl, which is just a very heavy vinyl sheeting, it's like a pound per square foot. Then I did 1/4 inch red oak plywood over that. And I left room along the sides to create a frame. And you'll see that in just a minute. Before we get to that, some of you know, and others maybe don't, that while I was building this door, I cut my finger terribly. Warning, sorry it's a little late, but warning for those who don't like this kind of thing. I ended up with 9 stitches. I was trimming the plywood on one of the ends of the door, and my knife skipped up onto the metal rule that I was using, cutting against, and skipped up onto it and just zipped right through my finger. Wow, it was bad. Thankfully, it healed up great, and I've been playing guitar and doing fine. So here I am. I actually milled this frame from some leftover red oak flooring, and just made a nice frame. It works really well to kind of bring the whole thing together. And that's about it. I built some beams, didn't get any video of that. I did the trim, didn't get any video of that. I had to do the whole door frame custom. This whole door, let me flip the camera. This whole door is custom. I did custom jambs and door stops along with the custom trim. Here is the finished studio door with that frame around it. I think it turned out really nicely. It's a big heavy door. I don't know, it weighs 200 pounds maybe, 250, something like that. Or I don't know, maybe 150, 175. Anyway, it's a big heavy door. That was a big project. And like I said, I didn't get any footage of that. And it was just, I was tired of how long this was all taking. And so I just decided to finish, to zip through it. These beams, I built those. They're faux beams, of course. They're just a L shape, and they cover up the framing that was there before. If you have been following the series, you might remember seeing this framing stuff just there above the drywall. And so I built these beams to cover it. The beams did not fit super snugly, so I got some base shoe trim and trimmed out around them. And that was the last thing I did, the finishing touch on the project. So we're done. This is the finale of the build part, at least. And we're gonna do some stuff setting up and furnishing the studio. Thanks for watching. I hope this has been interesting. Let me know if you have any questions, if you're curious, you wanna know if it's worth it to go through all of this. A couple other things about this studio door. I actually stuffed a bunch of sound deadening stuff here where the handle and the deadbolt go. And it worked out pretty well. At first it was a little sticky, and it is still kind of. I used some of those putty pads that you saw earlier in the series. In addition to some of that mass-loaded vinyl, I cut some circles out and made holes in those, and so they could slide in there. And anyway, so those holes are really sound deadened. I don't know if they're soundproof, but definitely got deadened by that stuff I put in there. Anyway, that's our series. Again, thanks for watching. I'm so glad to be done. Took me a year longer than I was hoping it would, but we're done now and moving on to other things, and we're going to finish those things soon. So stay tuned. In the next month or so, you'll see a video about the studio desk and then a video about the acoustic panels. And then, maybe sometime after that, I'll do kind of a final studio tour where I've got everything finished. I've got my furniture built and all put in and my gear all set up. So that'll be kind of fun to do, and that'll be coming soon. Thanks for watching. God bless you. Hope you have a great day.